fasting is the another important pillar of Islam, and our today's class is about fast. The Arabic word used for fasting is Saum. Okay, you must use the word, either you will use the word Saum or you will use the word fasting while writing the answer for your question. Write the word Saum or fasting. You should not use the word roza. ठीक है, आपने रोजे का वर्ड यूज नहीं करना. You should use either the Arabic term or use the English term for writing the answer for fasting. So the question, there are two types of question that could be asked from this topic, which is the related to paper 2, and it is linked with the question of the pillars of Islam. So they may ask you to write that outline the features of Ramzan fast, that what are the features of Ramzan fast, and identify which Muslims are exempted from fast during this month. So this could be a question from this topic. Okay, so this is the main question, features of Ramzan fast, and you should be able to identify the Muslims who are exempted from fasting. Okay, so features, number one, you must know about the features during the Ramzan, features of Ramzan fast, people exempted from Ramzan fast, the way fasting is practiced during this month. Okay, practices during this month should be identified by you. Okay, what are the different practices made by the Muslims during this month? So you have to mention, keep these things in your mind. Features, people exempted from Ramzan fast, and what are the practices which are usually done during this month. So एक क्वेश्चन तो ये हो गया कि what are the particular features of Ramzan fast, and the second question could be about its benefits. So first of all, we will only discuss that what are the basic practices of the Muslims during this month and how this month is spent by the Muslims, what they usually do during this month. So for this question, you will start your answer with the introduction. Okay, the first thing that you have to mention in answer, you will give a brief intro of Saum. In the intro, you will write the meaning. You will say that fasting, it is one of the important pillar of Islam, and it is called Saum. The Arabic used for fasting is Saum, and Saum means abstinence, to abstain. Okay, it means to abstain, abstinence. Fine. And in Islamic terminology, you have to define what fasting is. You will say that fasting is one of the pillar of Islam, and it means to abstain from the breaking of dawn till sunset. From the breaking of dawn till sunset, from eating, drinking, and marital relations. So it is to abstain yourself from three things: from the breaking of dawn till sunset, from eating, drinking, and the marital relations. And you will further define it that Ramzan fast is obligatory, since we usually, whenever we talk about fasting, we usually talk about Ramzan fast. So fasting during the month of Ramzan is obligatory on every Muslim. On whom it is obligatory? It's obligatory on every Muslim, male or female. Okay, adult, sane. Okay, sane means the one who has sound mind, and the one who is healthy and fit to observe this obligation. So he has to fast during the month of Ramzan. So the month, it is performed in the month of Ramadan, which is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. So fasting is observed in the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. Okay, you will define and you will describe in your answer that the month starts with the sighting of moon. Yes, from dawn till, okay, it is from dawn till sunset. To abstain yourself from eating, drinking, and the marital relations from dawn till sunset, and the month of fasting is the month of Ramzan. Explain the practices. Okay, what are the features and what are the practices of the Muslims during this month? Mention, first of all, write about how the month begins. Okay, you have to describe that how this month begins. That the month of Ramzan begins with with the sighting of moon. Talk about the moon sighting. Okay, it begins with the sighting of moon. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, said that start fasting when you see the moon of Ramadan, and stop fasting when you see the moon of Shawwal. Okay, or you can say in other words that do not start fasting until you see the crescent of Ramadan, and do not give up fasting until you see the crescent of Shawwal. Crescent, the first moon. So talk about the beginning of the month. Fine, it begins with the sighting of moon, the moon sighting. ठीक है, तो मून साइटिंग की बात करें सबसे पहले आप. The month, this is the practice that Muslims they start observing fast with the sighting of moon. The month starts with the begins with the sighting of moon. This is the practice amongst the Muslims. Another practice is of Sehri, Suhoor or Sehri. Talk about Sehri. That's this is a it's a pre-dawn meal which is taken, which is called Sehri, and it is Sunnah. It is the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, to take Sehri, and because the Prophet, peace be upon him, has recommended his followers what he had said. He has commanded his followers to take Sahur, for Allah has put blessing in it. Take Sahur as there is a blessing in it. As there is a blessing in it. Take Sahur as there is a blessing in it. So they have been recommended to take Sehri. Fine. Along with Sehri, with that they make intention. Talk about niyat, intention. They intend to observe fast. Okay, although there is no specific dua or wording, but usually Muslims they make their intention with these words that I intend to keep tomorrow's fast of the month of Ramadan. Okay, with that they make the intention. You can even mention that it is not necessary to say it with your tongue. Okay, it is sufficient to make an intention in your heart. The next paragraph will be about the way they that who are exempted from Ramzan fast. Okay, explain that you must identify the people exempted from Ramzan fast during this month. Exemption should be identified in your answer. Okay, you can mention that children, insane people are exempted. Okay, minors, children, and insane people who are not of sound health and mind are exempted. Very old or sick people, those who are very old, they are unable to observe fast, and those who are permanently sick people, so those who are permanently sick are also exempted from the fasting of the month of Ramzan. Okay, those who are temporarily sick, or in the same way those who are traveler, or those who, there are some cases in which the women are exempted, so they have to delay their fast and to have to keep qaza after the month of Ramadan. Okay, such people who are very old, those who are permanently ill, those who are permanently sick, they have to pay fidya for their fast. What they will do? They will pay fidya for their fast. What is fidya? Fidya for each fast is 1.75 kg of wheat. That is equal to Sadqatul Fitr. 1.75 kg of wheat. For those who cannot, okay, they have to pay the fidya. They have to feed the indigent. So the fidya for each fast is to feed one person twice a day, or the person can pay it according to the amount of Sadqatul Fitr. Yes, fine. So identify the people that children are exempted. In the same way, the other people who are exempted are travelers, those who are the traveler. Okay, in the same way, those who are sick, okay, not but not permanently sick, they are temporarily sick, so these the people can delay their and they can postpone their fast till they will be able to observe their obligation, this obligation. Fine, to identify some of the people who are exempted. If you are ill or on a journey, okay, so they people they can postpone their fast till the time they would be able to complete it later on. So identification of such people should be there in your answer. आपने अपने आंसर के अंदर ये बात लिख लेनी है, कुछ चीज़ों को आइडेंटिफाई करना है. So they can make the intention should be described, and you can mention that they can eat and drink. Okay, they can eat and drink till they can distinguish between the black thread and the white thread. Okay, what is meant by the black thread? The black thread is the darkness of the night, and the white thread is the brightness of the day. And eat and drink until the black thread becomes distinct, until the white thread becomes distinct from the black thread. So this black thread is the darkness of the night, and the white thread is the brightness of the day. So they have been recommended, Muslims, they have been allowed to observe to that they can eat and drink and they can take sehri at night. So fidya is only for the permanently sick people, okay, and those who are very old, those who are unable to observe fast, okay, they have no chance that they can observe fast. So I told you the meaning. The meaning is to abstain yourself, and we can define that it refers to abstain from eating, drinking, and the marital relations. From these activities, the person has to stop himself, and the one should stop himself from all types of sins. Okay. In the next paragraph, you can talk about how they spend their day during the month of Ramzan. How they spend their day. Talk about it in detail. That they stay away from all bad practices. If someone fights them, they tell him that they are observing fast. Okay, they must take care of all their religious duties. Muslims, they spend most of their time in the recitation of Quran, since Ramzan is the month in which the Holy Quran has been revealed. So they try to spend their time in the recitation of the Holy Quran. Fine. So this is the month of patience and the month of tolerance. They try to show patience, tolerance with the other people. They must stay away from all the bad activities like backbiting, slandering, telling lies. Okay, so all these activities should be stopped. And this is the month in which the person can control over himself. Okay, identify that this month, the month long abstinence has been made obligatory on the Muslims. Okay, you can quote the Quranic verse that fasting has been prescribed upon you as it was prescribed to those before you, so that you may learn self restraint. So fasting has been prescribed upon you as it was prescribed to those before you, so that you may learn self restraint. What is the purpose? The purpose is to develop self restraint or self control. Okay, so that you may learn self restraint, self control, taqwa and piety. This is the particular objective of Ramzan fast. Okay, fasting is that worship, okay, about which Allah himself has mentioned. There is a hadith you see, fasting is for me and I shall certainly compensate it. So it is one of the religious duty that Muslims observe fast. They try their level best to perform their prayers in congregation and at their prescribed timings. They stay away from all the bad practices, because whoever observes fast and does not stop himself from committing sin, Allah does not need from him to stop and to give up eating and drinking. Okay, so the purpose and objective is that the person should stop himself from all types of bad activities. So whoever does not give up telling lies and acting on lie during the fasting, then Allah has no need of him giving up food or drink. So the person should learn how to control over himself. So you have to describe very briefly in one paragraph that how they observe fast. We can, when we write about Taraweeh prayer, then we can mention that Prophet peace upon him used to recite Quran in this month a lot, and he recited the whole Quran twice during that is when we जब हम तरावी की बात करें तो तब हम ये बात मेंशन कर दें वहाँ पे, ठीक है अरहान. So next we have to mention about iftar. These are the, because these are the particular features of Ramzan fast. Talk about iftar, the breaking the fast. Okay, immediately after the sunset, Muslims they break their fast. Okay, at sunset, what they usually do, they spend this time in prayer. Okay, supplication. The time just before the sunset, it is the time for the acceptance of prayer. Muslims they spend this time in supplication, in the recitation of Quran. Okay, it is a time when prayers are accepted. They prepare a meal which is called iftar. Okay, according to the hadith of the Holy Prophet, they should break their fast immediately after the sunset. So immediately after the sunset, they should break their fast, because according to the hadith of the Holy Prophet, the dearest of my servant are those who are quick in breaking their fast. So the dearest of my servant are those who are quick in breaking their fast. So those who are quick in breaking their fast are the dearest to Allah Almighty. Muslims they break their fast with dua. Okay, mention that dua because this is the sunnah of the Holy Prophet peace upon him to break his fast with that particular dua, that oh Allah, I fasted for you. Okay, oh Allah, I fasted for you and I believed in you and I put my trust in you, and I now break my fast for you from the sustenance that you had provided. So, oh Allah, I fasted for you and I believe in you and I put my trust in you, and I now break my fast from the sustenance that you had provided. So, this is a particular dua that has been taught by the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. So, this evening meal is called iftar. Okay, it is called iftari or iftar. Fine. So, the dearest of my servant are those who are quick in breaking their fast. So, Muslims they break their fast with dates. Okay, talk about it. It is the Muslims' practice to break their fast with dates. So, because again it's a son of the Holy Prophet peace be upon him, that Prophet peace be upon him recommended that whoever, when one of you breaks his fast, should do it with dates. Okay, when one of you breaks his fast, should do it with dates, because they are a source of blessing. They provide blessing. But if one who cannot get it any dates, then he should break his fast with water, for it is purifying. So whoever breaks his fast should break it with dates, for they are source of blessing. And if one is unable to get dates, then he can break his fast with water, for water is purifying. Mention these things in your answer. Then you can further mention the blessings of Allah Almighty at the time of iftar. Okay, iftar is one of the time of Allah's blessing and His mercy. So this time must be spent in dua and supplication. The dua which is made at the time of iftar is accepted. Okay, it is a great source of reward and blessing from Allah Almighty. So this is one of the feature of Ramzan fast. In the next paragraph, talk about Taraweeh prayer. Okay, you will also add Taraweeh, the additional prayers which are offered at night. So that is another practice and another feature of Ramzan fast. Muslims they offer Taraweeh prayer, okay, in every night of Ramzan, and there are 20 rakat which are offered at night. It is the sunnah of the Prophet peace be upon him to perform these prayers at night. 20 rakat are performed from the time of the Holy Prophet. Prophet peace upon him performed it, and it is sunnah muakkada. Okay, that Prophet peace upon him performed it as his usual practice, and his habitual practice. Fine. So this was the Prophet's practice to perform these prayers, and he would complete Quran. He would complete the recitation of Quran, and he did it in his last Ramzan. He recited the whole Quran twice. So this was his practice. Okay, there is a hadith of the Holy Prophet peace be upon him. एक हदीस ऐसी है जो आपको हर जगह काम आएगी, तीन जगह काम आ सकती है. That whoever observe fast with belief and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. Okay, note down this hadith. Whoever observe fast, whoever observe fast with faith and hope of reward, okay, whoever observe fast with hope and with faith and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. And whoever stood, okay, in the brackets you can write in prayer, whoever stood in prayers during the night of Ramzan, his past sins with faith and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. Okay, whoever stood in prayers during the night of Ramazan with faith and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. And whoever worshipped in the night of power, okay, in the night of power with faith and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. So this hadith could be quoted in the reward for fasting, the reward for standing in prayer at night, and the reward for worshipping during the night of power. Okay, that is the reward for, and that is the blessing from Allah Almighty for the one who observe and the one who observes fast, the one who performs prayer at night during in the form of Tarawih prayer. These are the major practices that are usually practiced by the Muslims. So they perform Tarawih prayers and they perform 20 rakat, 20 units are offered along with the Isha prayer and Witr prayer. This is the Sunnah of the Prophet peace be upon him to recite Quran as much as possible. Okay, in most of the mosques, the complete Quran is recited in Tarawih prayers, and they also perform additional Nafil prayers during this month, since it is a month of blessing. Amongst the other practices during this month, okay, it is seeking Laylatul Qadr. Talk about Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, the night of blessing from Allah Almighty. So amongst other practices, they seek Laylatul Qadr, the night of power. Identify the night of power is better than the nights of 1,000 months. According to the Holy Quran, Laylatul Qadr is better than the nights of 1,000 months, 1,000 months. The worship of this night is better than 1,000 months. And this night, Quran has been revealed. The night of power, the night of blessing. The Quran has been revealed. According to the hadith of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, the Prophet mentioned, seek Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, in the last 10 days of the month of Ramzan. Or even you can mention even that in the odd nights of the last 10 days of the month of Ramzan. Okay, seek Laylatul Qadr in the odd nights of the last 10 days of the month of Ramazan. मैंने आपको हदीस पहले बता दी that whoever worships in the night of power with belief and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. So this is a hadith that could be quoted in your answer at different places. Along with Lailatul Qadr, night of power, talk about itikaf. It is also a sunnah of the Prophet peace be upon him. Okay, the sunnah of the Holy Prophet peace upon him, that itikaf, to seclude oneself in the mosque. Fine, that to seclude oneself, seclusion, spending the last 10 days in the month of Ramzan. They spend these nights and days in search of Laylatul Qadr to worship more. Okay, I will explain Irhan it. Fine, so what we can mention over here, we can mention that itikaf is to be done. Okay, itikaf is to, it is the sunnah of the Holy Prophet peace be upon him, Fine. And the reward for itikaf is equal to one Hajj and Umrah. That whoever observes itikaf, whoever sits for itikaf, the Sunnah itikaf in the last 10 days of the month of Ramzan, okay, it is rewarded as a reward of Hajj and Umrah. Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, did itikaf in the last, he did itikaf in the month of Ramzan, and it was his Sunnah and it was his practice to seek Laylatul Qadr in these days. You can further add and talk about Sadaqatul Fitr. Okay, you can talk about Sadaqatul Fitr is also given usually by the Muslims in this month. Muslims, they also pay their uh, zakat during this month. So that's all about that. How do Muslims they prepare and how this month is usually observed by the Muslims. So whenever you have a question about the daily observances for the month of Ramzan, you have to describe your answer in this way, and you will write in detail that how it benefits Muslims and how not you not will not talk about in detail about the benefits. You will just mention that how this month is usually observed and what are the daily practices and the observances of the Muslims during this month. So this is one of the main questions that is usually asked from this topic.